all 6 classes here, and it is important for me to highlight a couple of issues. First, during the break times on Tuesday through Friday, please be really careful about how closely you are to one another. Keep your mask on, that you are remembering that we're in this time of the pandemic. Dr. Boyd and Mr. Sawyer at our faculty meeting last Friday asked the help of the faculty to be part of just essentially monitoring those times, because that's when we're most worried, frankly, about the mitigations. The classrooms, it's easy. The advisories, it's easy. And I think just remembering, all of us, to sort of stay within a distance of people, a certain distance, to keep our mask on, that's all really important. It's also important at the lunch times. Please remember there are 4 chairs to a table out under the tents. We just want to make this story continue in every way possible. I heard about a school in Memphis this morning, Christian Brothers, that the health department closed down for 2 weeks. That'd be the last thing I'd want to see happen at MBA, because it's so great to see you back, and I appreciate the cooperation of all of you. I want to put in a good word for the spaghetti supper and for Second Harvest. You're going to hear some announcements about it from a senior and from our parents in a few minutes. But this is the week to get your spaghetti supper tickets sold. I think you do have until early next week, but please make sure you sell at least your minimum number of tickets, and I hope more. Also, begin supporting Second Harvest tomorrow. You'll hear all about this, but I think both of those issues are really important, and people have worked so hard on doing something around homecoming this year just to make things as normal as possible, that I think it behooves all of us to support that. This Wednesday, a number of seniors will be taking the SAT at school. That's a change. As most of you know, the standardized tests have typically been scheduled for the weekends, for Saturdays. But we knew that with all the changes in the last 6 months, and because a number of seniors have not had a chance to take a test, or certainly more than one test, we decided to allow this option. And I'm pleased for the seniors, because I think they need that testing experience. I'm also reminding you that 2 weeks from Wednesday is the PSAT, a test taken by all 8th through 11th graders. You should have been given information in your classes about the PSAT, and you have a chance to go back and look at how you did last year if you took the test then. Please do so and do a little preparation for the PSAT in October, on Wednesday, the 14th of October. With so many changes this year, it's easy to forget about programs we're working on, and one of the programs that I'm pleased about is the Diversity, Equity, Inclusivity Committee that we have. Mr. Redmond is meeting with that group this Friday morning. If you have questions about it, you might want to see Mr. Redmond. This weekend, there was some significant news. Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, so there's going to be a lot of press, and there's going to be a lot of controversy and discussion over the next months about the Supreme Court and nominating someone in her stead. I think it's news worthy of your thinking about and reading about and talking about. It also is on the heels of the election, which is slated for Tuesday, November 3rd. I have a couple of brief comments about the election. One is, I try not to be partisan. I think that's not the job of the school, to take a particular point of view. I think it's the school's job to educate, to make people think about issues, and also to exhort them to vote if they're eligible to vote. And of course, a number of the seniors are, and I hope you will vote. And then finally, I think it's important for the school to remind everybody to be tolerant and empathetic of different points of view. It is an issue in the country that things are so divergent, and the more that we, I think, exercise that kind of good judgment and care and sensitivity, the better a community we will be, and perhaps we'll build a better and better world. I'm proud to announce, in conjunction with, let's say, the announcement about the PSAT, because one of the purposes of the PSAT is to name or establish who the semifinalists are in the National Merit Corporation. So as a junior, the test raises its stakes in terms of your interest and importance, and you become eligible to be a semifinalist in the National Merit Competition. We're pleased to recognize the following students. I'll read their names and we'll give them applause afterwards. Wyatt Bettis, Andrew Bulgarino, Tanir Ghosh, Ethan Lilly, Sam Meacham, Joseph Moore, William Myers, Baylor Tsai, Colin Tang, and Jason Zhu. Let's give those guys a round of applause. Ms. Maddox and I have met with these seniors, and they are now eligible to become finalists in the competition, and they're eligible for some scholarship money, and certainly it leverages their college admissions prospects because colleges like to have national merit winners on their campus. A few weeks ago, Mr. Tate sent me an email about a new trail at Long Mountain that Braden Ziegler completed. It's a great trail on the southern bluff, and the team worked very hard to cut this 0.7-mile trail. Braden completed this as his Eagle Scout project. His team included Larson Looney, Denton Sensing, Charlie Graves, Robert Holliday, and a student from CPA that's in Braden's troop. You see the photo of it, and again, we're grateful for that. I had a couple of you, incidentally, that wrote me about the Eagle Scout project with the beds and gardens out front, and we're following through on that and should start that in the next few weeks. Another program at MBA that we hadn't announced yet this year is the Leadership Societies, and there are 6 of them. They are health and wellness, exploration and research, entrepreneurship, arts and humanities, conservation, and politics. These societies were set up so that students could take some leadership in discussing these various topics, having meetings about these areas, inviting speakers to the campus, and generally just enjoying the study, involvement, engagement in these endeavors. If you're interested in these societies, please see Mr. Bassett. One of the seniors who reminded me about this, and this happens to be in assembly today, had suggested that it would be smart to show some evidence of your engagement and interest in these areas, and consequently that there be a number of students. It could be grades 7 through 12. It was mainly a high school program, but if there are some microbes interested, I don't see a problem with their getting involved in that. But please see Mr. Bassett if you're interested in that. We'll have more information about that topic in the next few weeks. And on the topic of Eagle Scouts, I thought I'd highlight that Sam Bartholomew recently finished his Eagle Scout work. Let's congratulate Sam in becoming an Eagle Scout. Daniel Gall is going to come up now and talk a little bit about Second Harvest.
Hello, everyone. This week is a big push for online and food donations by MBA to Second Harvest. The only change for this year's Second Harvest has an increased need in Nashville. Between the devastating tornadoes that hit Nashville last March and COVID-19, families who never expected to need food assistance are contacting Second Harvest each week. This time last year, Second Harvest distributed an average of 600,000 pounds of food to families each week. This year, they're distributing 1 million pounds of food weekly. That's a 67% increase. And simultaneously, grocery store donations have declined 30%. And food drive donations are at a standstill. Last year, 71% of the student body of MBA participated in the food drive, but I believe we can achieve 100% this year. Each student just needs to bring 1 jar of peanut butter or canned tuna or any non-perishable food item from your pantry to be counted. This is an incredible opportunity for MBA to step up and lead our community in making 2020 the largest food drive yet. If we reach 100% participation, the top 5 food collectors in the high school get the right to put a pie in the face of Mr. Sawyer, and the junior schoolers, the top 5 donators, will be able to put a pie in the face of Mr. Simpson. Individually and by advisory, we'll also be well rewarded for our efforts as arranged gift baskets stocked with MBA merchandise from the Big Red Store will be given out to our top winners, as well as Chick-fil-A gift cards to the top advisory winners. The top 3 food collectors will also win 2 tickets to football games, which is something we no longer take for granted. Please be generous with your food donations, and let's make the most MBA's ever given to Second Harvest. Please put your name on your donation bags so you'll know to receive credit for your donation. And drop-off days are Tuesday through Friday, September 22nd through 25th, from 7 to 8:30 a.m. on the gym steps, Massey and Lowry Circle. There are also donation boxes set up around campus, but make sure you have your name on your bag so your donation will be counted. And Friday is Peanut Butter Day, so everyone remember. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. And Ms. Sensing will now come up to talk a little bit about the winners, I think, and any other topics related to the dinner.
Thank you so much, Daniel. This is the last week to sell your Spaghetti Zipper tickets. Just like Mr. Joya said, get those required 5 tickets sold this week and sell some more. So that all sales will close on Monday of next week, so a week from today. Next week at Assembly, we will have a drawing for an MBA swag bag for one boy from junior school and one from high school who sold 15 tickets or more. We have a collection of some Big Red Store favorites and this great new mesh bag they've got. We're also throwing in some other surprises, so keep selling those tickets. The winners of the $25 Shake Shack gift card drawing for selling 10 tickets or more, be sure and go to Angela Power's office and pick up your gift card. Those are 7th grade Will Wadlington, John Randall Scruggs, and Ike Stroud. 8th grade Sammy Thompson, Elias Franks, and Jack Wallace. 9th grade Palmer Phillips, Bennett El-Shashini, and Jonah Hussman. Okay, 10th grade Andrew Dovan, Owen Flanagan, and Trey White. 11th grade, y'all have some catching up to do. We only have 2 boys that have sold 10 or more tickets. Matthew Thayer and Denton Sensing. 12th grade, Scott Wallace, Stanford Toms, and Will Morrison. So y'all be sure and stop by Angela Power's office, and thank you all for working hard to sell tickets. And I'm just going to read the top 10 sellers real quick, or if they're up there, you can take a look. So the top 10 sellers are Jack Allen, Will Blair, Pax, Duke Johnson, Palmer, Elzen. Those 2 are a tie, so we actually have top 11. Morgan Holzappel, Alex Kagi, Owen Rouse, Denton Sensing, Ike Stroud, Wyatt Wellholter, and Rhett Wilbert. Thanks so much, and keep it up.
Thank you very much, Mary. Andrew Bulgarino is going to come up about a service opportunity, and then Jason Zhu is going to come up about a club.
Hey guys, I just want to tell you a little bit about the Peer Tutoring Club. So this club connects students who are pretty strong in certain subjects with students who might need a little extra help in that area, no matter what grades they're in. So if you're interested at all in becoming a peer tutor, or if you think you need a little extra help, there's no shame in asking for help, especially if your teacher has gone all remote. I know it's pretty hard to pay attention in those classes. But so if you're interested in becoming a tutor, or if you think you need a little extra help, email me, Eman Barrett, or Mr. Garvey. Thank you.
Okay, I didn't see Jason in here. He may be planning on doing this later, but the announcement was about the Asian Club, and we can put that in the bulletin if there's something that we need to have in there for tomorrow. In terms of extracurricular activities, our debate program has been very busy. We had about 25 novices compete this weekend who did very well. Our debate team of Sam Meacham and Jack Piccone competed in the round robin of the Green Hill School tournament this past week and finished runner-up, did extremely well. They lost to a team in California called Bellarmine. Sam was the best speaker in the round robin. We are currently debating in the general tournament, and we should have the results later, and we'll report them next week. Our golf team had a match this past week, did really well. They tied Baylor and beat Macaulay. Those will be two of the top teams in the state, and it's fun to see how well they're playing right now. Our riflery team also won a match this week. Our cross-country varsity team finished third, slightly behind BA and Macaulay. Those will also be two of the top teams in the state, and the prospects are for us to do really well, in cross-country. Our micro team did extremely well. They finished in the top 5, places 1 through 5, which is a perfect score, and we're really, their prospects are promising as well. Football team had a tough game, but they came up victorious. I was reflecting over the weekend that one of the reasons I think we've had a hard time against MUS historically is they're very much like NBA in so many respects. To put this in historical perspective for you, up until 5 years ago, we were behind them in the win-loss column. We were 6-13. We're now 10-13, so we've won 4 games, 4 out of the last 5 games, and that's been a nice journey. We had a lot of great offense, and you're about to see it, so let's run the highlight tape.
It's Will to the 10. Will gets the 5. He is in! Temporary hash for Bulgarino. Bulgarino is good at the distance. And he gets it through. Hand off, there's Hale. Hale to the 30, outside 35, 40, 25, midfield, 45. Makes a move at the 40. Still on his feet and finally taken down inside the 35-yard line. There's Hale straight ahead. Putting it into the 10. Driving to the goal! Touchdown! The handoff. There's Will. Will dodges a horse collar. Still going to midfield. Oh, here we go. 25-30. And he's going to run out of bounds. Hands off to Barnes. Barnes is going to be tripped up and taken down in the backfield. Hands off to Barnes, and Barnes is again dragged down from behind. Hands off. On the sweep. It's Will. Here he goes. 30, 20, 10. Bulgarino to push it back to a 10-point lead, and he does. Pass is caught, and the receiver was pounded. Reed to throw. Facing some pressure up the middle, gets it off short. There's Hale. Hale takes a man to the 40. He's got the 35, he's got the 30, he's got a first down. Extra point is up. Extra point is. 3-man front for the Big Red. Hensley has time. It's a wounded duck, and it is intercepted by Battle. Coming the other way. 30, 35. He's at the 40, and he is going to be taken down right there. Maxwell Battle. Well, NBA with a huge win, though, holds off the Owls 3rd in a row over MUS.
There's some great offensive runs, as we just saw from Patrick and Rhett. Some strong defense at critical times, and it was just great to finish that game with a victory. We play this week at Innsworth, and then the homecoming game is the next Friday night against JP2. Then we play BA, then we have a week off for fall break, which I alluded to generally when I was talking about the PSAT, which is the start of the fall break time. That Wednesday afternoon is the day of fall break. We're also going to offer an SAT that day as well. couple of you asked me if we're going to have some music at Assembly, and I thought that was a nice question in the sense that you enjoy the music. There is some music scheduled for next week, and I'm sure that if the music department wants to do more, I'd be glad to schedule it. And a couple of you started talking to me about some speakers, which is great. I've hesitated to bring too many outside speakers in just because of the unique nature of the Assembly setups, but it'd be worth doing, so I hope I'll hear from some more of you. Thanks to all that you're doing to help the Spaghetti Supper and the Second Harvest. Let's make this a great week. We're finished today with today's Assembly.